close to the time. Okay, I'm just going to dive straight in today. No thinking about anything. And I'm going to start with a problem that I encountered yesterday whilst testing. Which was, I need to set up the problem first. But basically, I've run the first test on this level on multiple attack points. And it caused issues with the UI. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a test down here. It's just going to run from the multiple attack point waves. So here's one, and here's another. Here's another. So I'm just going to go wave 0 and wave 1. Going to be the very last two waves in the game for the sake of this test. There's some balance that I need to do with them as well. Okay, so let's run the test and have a look at what problems come up. There's a few things left to do on this level today. If I get time, I might have a look at Liam's, what the movement codes are doing now. Liam hasn't really submitted anything since. So okay, so for a start, that's messed up. Why that's broken? Right, I'm just going to test something. So I'm going to break this link here and try running that. No, it still says 0. Is that definitely to do with what I've done here? If I reconnect that. Right. Interesting. Maybe there's some setup thing that I've missed. Yeah, something odd's going on here. Okay, right. That's a clue. So we're not actually going into that point. I guess wave 0 doesn't exist. It's got creatures, it's got a time, it's got a spawn location. I've had a thought. What if I did it the other way around? So the first wave that came in, 0.1, 1, then make the final one be the full time. Okay, now the wave's not appearing at all. Yeah, and the first waves come immediately. Right. Okay, so that didn't help. I really want to know why the timer's not showing. I guess I'll take a look at the wave spawner when the when that comes up. Queued waves equals 0. Ah. Right. Okay, so we do have an issue here. Okay, so this is clearly a mistake in the way I've had this set up. What I've got here is something that's looking for the minimum value in the array. So clearly I had a vision of it operating one way and ended up making it operate another. So essentially what I've changed it to is this is spawn timer from the previous wave. So each time you plug a wave in, it's just done from the previous wave that it spawns. So you can queue them like that. However, the timer is set up to show the smallest timer, which is assuming that it's not from the previous wave. So really, I just need the next one. So it's probably get 0. Probably. But I'll find out soon enough anyway. Okay. Right. The next thing to check is going to be what happens when the multiple waves actually spawn. So is the timer going to mess up? Is it going to flash on and off? I guess we've got 45 seconds to wait. Could speed it up. Just give me a chance to drink some delicious coffee. Watch the Queen. Watch the Queen. Yeah, so okay, so the timer did flash back on again. Also, interestingly, the God, that's terrifying. Interestingly, the waves took 5 seconds, roughly 5 seconds between them to spawn. Really, I could do with it happening faster. Either instantly or my guess is that the wave spawning has like a timer on it. If I search wave spawner with a timer, oh no, I know what it is. It's yeah, so what's going on is it's got to spawn the entirety of one wave before it moves to another. So my guess is handle current spawning is probably on a really short time between it. Spawn time is less than 0, it'll run handle current spawning. It's got a spawn timer interval, which is 0.11 seconds plus or minus 0.1. Plus or minus a random value between 0 and 1. So it's essentially trying to spawn. Okay. What I really could do with it doing is trying to spawn the other waves in between spawning or at the same time as spawning the first wave. I'm guessing it removes a wave creature each time. There should be a remove there path. Be nice basically if it could spawn multiple waves at the same time without having to worry about it. So I'm going to run some tests. So for a start, I'm going to give 0 time in between these waves. So there's a way of identifying when waves are linked. So rather than 1, I'm just going to have 0. Or rather than 0.1, sorry, I'm going to have 0. What I'll do is I can spawn... I'll try and spawn 1 from each wave each time it... each time it ticks. So I need to look for all the occasions where 0 is used here. Okay, so there's a couple of issues going on. So there's a wave spawn iterator. There's a queued waves. I think queued waves is fine. But wave spawn iterator definitely needs to be related to the wave that it's looking at. So wave spawn iterators. Okay, this is going to be quite a big change. I'm not expecting it to work straight off the bat. This group to spawn. Oh, yeah. So the idea is it can spawn one from any group using this. So that's the case where, oh, that's some sort of failed thing. This is it removing a creature because it's just spawned it. Okay. Next, we need to set up the iterator. So essentially, the wave spawn iterator, all it does is it increases with 1. There needs to be an occasion where it gets set back to 0. Or gets added in the first place. Before it was here, but here it's actually just getting removed. But everything's been removed at that point, so it's fine. It can be removed at that point. So I guess when a wave gets added, the iterator needs to be added. No, damn it. Okay, let's see what happens when I run this. I don't have much hope. Just a fool's hope. It's really quite dull today, so let me get the lights on. It's been raining all night. Alright. Okay, I had built in something to drop timer to 0. Well, I'm not sure how that'll mess with it, so I think I'll leave it. At the minute, there's a chance this won't actually change. If it doesn't change anything, it's good, because I haven't actually added in the ability to spawn from the other waves yet. Then my guess is something's going to go wrong. Okay, so what we got there then was only one of the waves spawning. Although that might be because I set the time to 0 on the others rather than... Yeah, so let's set them to 0.1 again, and we will see. If that'll make a difference. Looks like the full wave spawned there, so at least we didn't have any any failing on that front. Just gonna, I believe I set up a test that dropped the timer to 0 at some point. I might have deleted it by now. Oh, there we are. There is just something built into the thing to do it. So that should just spawn the wave instantly. Okay, yeah, so that has caused all 3 to spawn. Oh, that wave's tiny. Oh, it's got some wood ants in it. It's got 1 wood ant in it. My guess is that I've mugged up there. I should probably check that whilst I'm here. Yep. Just the 1 wood ant, please. No, we're good. Okay, so that worked exactly how I expected it to. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make it deal with the occasion where we've got timers at 0.0. Okay, so this is going to get a bit confusing. But essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to at the point of spawning, I'm going to loop through all the other waves that are queued, and if the timer for them is 0, then it's going to spawn one of those as well. So if we have a look at the event graph where the spawning happens. So here, okay. So for loop. I suppose I could do it for loop with break. Spawn timers. So it's going to go from 0 to length -1. And what I'm going to say is if the timer is greater than 0, break the loop. If it's not greater than 0, then we're going to spawn a creature. This only needs to happen once, so that's going to happen before it. Okay, so that should spawn one from each. Oops, not there, sorry, it's there. That should spawn one from each group that's got a timer of 0. Now, I'm not entirely convinced this is going to work either, because there's a few bits and bobs I might not have taken into account here. But we shall see. There should be 20 of each get spawned. And they should spawn fairly snappy. That looked perfect. Ah. Okay. So what it's done is it's mixed up the there's something else to solve. Army ants shouldn't be gathering food. Same with trapjaws, I guess. Oh, errors. Interesting. I think what must have happened here. I'm just gonna look at these. Huh. Okay, it looks like we've got a few problems to solve anyway. Index 2 from array wave creatures of length 1. Okay, so I mean that will be this will all be stemming from the same problem. So there's an Unreal Engine bug going on here. Okay, so the problem is that it's trying to spawn everything in every location, so something's messed up with the location. So if I have a quick look. At the spawning. It's not going to tell me. Okay, so this is from group 0. If I put the breakpoint there instead. So group 0 next one. Okay, so there's something wrong here. Okay, yeah, so here's the issue. So wave creatures is just a massive list of creatures. It's not the same as the other one. That's tricky. So yeah, here, for example, here what we've done is we've added on a huge array of creatures just onto this massive array. There is literally just a list that it's expecting to go through one at a time. So I'm probably going to have to change the way this works. I think I'm going to have to make a structure which contains an array of creatures and add it to that structure. And then have an array of those structures. So the first wave is the first structure, second wave, etc. So it's going to be a little bit more tricky than what I was hoping. That's things off to now. Right, I'm just going to get another coffee. I'll be back in a minute. Let's make a nested array. Okay, so right, so it's got an array of creature spawn structures. What we need is a nested array of creature spawn structures. So it's going to be a bit funny. I don't know how the engine's going to like it. I'm going to save before I do it. But essentially I'm going to make a structure with an array of structures in it. Should work, should be fine. So what is this? It's what, a creature spawn. Array of creature spawn structures. Where is it? Blueprints will be in here. There we are. Nested. Okay. Okay, so going back into my thingy-do. Okay. Right, so there's no need to store the wave size anymore. Because the creatures are literally being added to something now. So all of that can essentially go. But the way that it's being handled is going to have to be, it's going to have to be changed. So everywhere that wave creatures was referenced, I don't think it's that many places, needs to be changed. Okay, so here we are. So this is the group of creatures we're spawning. Okay, so that should be fine. Next reference. Okay, so removing the index, we've got to be careful with this. So I'm not just removing this, I've got to remove the next one. That's it. So we're not removing so you're not actually removing you're just removing the next one because you're spawning the next one and then you'll remove it once it's spawned. Here's the final reference to it. Then we've also got to look at removing the whole chunk once that wave's done and how it determines when the wave's done, because we're no longer using a number to determine it. Again, it's not, yeah, so that should be fine. What was that? Weird. Okay, so it's all references to that. However, at this point, I'm removing the indexes for everything else. We're gonna remove index for this as well. Okay, next. The concept of wave size, I think, is disappearing. Yeah, so every reference to wave size needs to be looked at. So wave spawn iterator is no longer needed. Because because we're not actually iterating. We can just iterate through the creatures themselves rather than. Oh, we can't though, because we need to iterate across them over a long period of time. Yeah, so we do need the wave spawn iterators still. So rather than wave size, actually we don't, you know, because we don't actually need the wave spawn iterator. What we can do is each time one's removed, we'll just check. Just check the length. So if the length is greater than 0, we spawn, else we just remove everything. Yeah, I think that's fine. Again, this is something that can be removed. Okay. Right, I'm going to give that a go. Not entirely sure how this is going to play out. Hopefully better than the last attempt. I'm going to end the stream at 11:30. So that's in 20 minutes. Shortest stream today, as it normally is on the second day in the week. Okay. Let's see what happens. Okay, don't need that to look at that just yet. Okay, we've got spawns. We've got spawns in the correct locations. Looks to me like they're the correct quantities. If I cancel, do we have any errors? Hey! Okay, so that little quick job was a bit more tricky than I originally had hoped, but we got there in the end. And the creature spawn, the wave spawn is now all the better for it. Because I've trimmed out a load of unneeded stuff there. And it's now more flexible. You can just throw waves into it to spawn at the same time, and they will. Okay, so there's a few other things I've got to do. These are more balance related, so we'll have a balance pass of the wave spawns based on my playtest yesterday off stream, and then we'll and then that'll probably, and then we'll have a play, and that'll be us done for the day. I'm pleased with the changes that I've made there. They feel like they feel more robust. Like the wave spawning system now feels more robust. It's nice when you get something feeling better like that. Okay, let me just check what I've got written down here. Linked waves fail. That's been solved. Increased cost of all upgrades. So the upgrades cost quite a lot already. However, what I was finding was when you get to the later game, getting cash is so much easier that I wanted the upgrades to be more aspirational. So, and with just a few extra ants, you can probably make it to the point where you're getting about 150 a playthrough. So I want to up the cost of the upgrades. So you got to save up for them a bit. Now I think it's not part of the level. It's on the UI stuff. Might actually be on the upgrade panels themselves. Yeah, it is. Okay, so 5 times the cost from what they are in the campaign. We'll decide whether that's getting silly or not. Okay, so I have upped the cost of the upgrades further. Army ants turn. Alright, okay, so I just noticed a second ago was that the army ants when the creatures were spawned, there. Okay, so basically if they've got gather food, that's going to get removed, so they don't try and gather food and then get confused that they've got nowhere to take it to. Okay, so that's done. I'm going to move that out of that comment box. It doesn't make sense to be there. So that's all creatures that spawn won't. Okay. Right, I've got, it says increase all numbers, especially army ants. Now that will be numbers beyond a certain wave. I can't remember exactly what wave it was, but so the crickets were definitely still challenging, so it'll be after the crickets. The jumping spiders weren't particularly challenging, but I don't particularly want them to be because the following waves, the beach wolf spiders, and they're a nightmare. So I'll go from the beach wolf spiders. What have we got next? Just tunnelers, so that's a tunneler wave, don't need to worry about that one. So beach tiger beetle, small. Right, I think this is the first point that we need to start increasing numbers. Praying mantis young, I remember this wave being really easy. So I'm going to double those. Medium hermit crab. Rove Beetle B. Swarm Trapjaw, okay. They're going to be level 3 now. There's going to be 50 of them. Actually 60. Rove Beetle A. So this is the Army Ant Army. They're level 1. They're all level 1. We can put quite a lot of them in. Okay, so this tunneler wave was completely messed up. The bottom right one spawned and did nothing. Like they just literally hung around their starting point. The other two spawned and then went clockwise round to the next point before they started digging. So they're set up incorrectly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run a test with it. Let's have a quick nosy what's going on with it. Yeah, see, they've all gone clock. Right, so these actually dug through an area that they're supposed to dig through. However, that one's meant to be dug out already by that point. And then each of the other waves have spawned and gone clockwise round to the next point. Okay, it's 0, 1, 2. So those spawning at 2 are going back to the route at 1. Okay, let's have a look. Okay. Okay, so for a start that needs to be set to 0 because we've changed that how that works. So first of all, our spawn location of 1 is following route 2. Right. So I'm just going to mark down which tunneler routes have already been done before this goes off. So the first one is route 2's already been done, so it's definitely not route 2. And route 4 has already been done. So route, right, hang on, I'm going to draw. One route, 2 route, 3 route, 5 route. So this one's route 2. Route 4, I believe, is here. Okay, so there's no route 0. Making this 1, 2. been done and that one's been done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. What? What have I done? I suppose that's a check to see it's not 0. I guess. Oh, never mind. Okay. So I should now be able to figure this out. Okay, so those spawning from location 1 need to follow route 3. Next ones. Those spawning from location 2 need to follow route 5. And those spawning from location 0 need to follow route 1. I had that completely messed up then. It's worth noting that I didn't actually win in my attempt yesterday. I got very far. I got down to the whip spiders. The whip spiders absolutely destroyed me. Well, this hasn't worked, has it? Ah. I know what the issue is. It's much the same as the issue I had before. Oh, some of them followed the route. Okay, quick explanation. The tunnelers is handled in a separate format here. So I believe there's a function called spawn tunnelers or something. Maybe it's just part of the event graph, might be. Q tunnel away. So Q tunnel away works the same way as the other thing, only it's got an extra thing to deal with called tunneler stored path. Oh, it should work. It's adding it to an array. Huh. Let me just find references and make sure there isn't an... Yeah, there it is. There's the issue. It's just using number 0 rather than the group that's actually spawning. Okay, let's give it another go. So they look like they were about to plough straight through that room then. They can plough through the central rooms. They can't plough through the outside rooms. Okay, cool. All right, that worked. Worked fine. There is an issue in that there's only 3 spawn points, and the new path created, for example, down here, is never going to be used because things spawning from there will never see that as an efficient route. They'll always go this way to the Queen. So I might set up a couple of extra spawn points and move some of the waves to other spawn points. Just some of the later waves. I don't need to worry about any of the earlier ones. Alright. Right, so where were we? So this is what? Tunnelers. There's the tunnelers. Multi-location attacks. Okay, so what's this? Beach tiger beetles. Leaf cutter mages. That's a bit of a funny combination. Spiny Devil large. 6, 10. Triple attack location. Large beach wolf spiders. 4 large beach wolf spiders. Small spiny devils. 20 small spiny devils. And 30 jumping spiders. Some strange combinations coming out at these late points. This was the wave that killed me. Does not need more than 6. The whip spiderlings are terrifying. I'm not sure about... Oh, we'll see. We'll see. All large creatures, so... It's just giving 1 of each. It's just ridiculously easy. Comparatively to some of the other waves. Let's do 6 of each. Okay, I think some of these late waves now are probably going to be too hard, so I'll probably need to rein them back in, but we shall see. You're right, let's Draco. Good to have you with us. Unfortunately, you caught me at the very end of the stream. But I'm going to run a test soon, before we finish up, so... Right, let's run the test. So I'm just going to run this test, and then that'll do us for the day. Well, this test might take a while. Depends how well I play. Okay. So I've got a fair amount of unlock points. I'll unlock... Go on, we'll get some more venom damage. Oh, okay, there's a bug. He just removed the cost of the other ability I haven't bought. Okay, let's see how we do. Right. Gonna build over here. Brave worker. Yeah, this is the pathing issues.
This colony must remain small for now. Food is too scarce to support greater numbers.
Oh, poo! I've left I left the later wave attached. I left my test up. Well, that ruins that. Yeah, just need to reconnect that to there. Also going to delete. I've got another test here. It was designed to reduce the timer to 0. Get rid of that before I forget it. Is this path issue only in your version? Because that never happens to me. Yeah, it's the pathing issue at the moment that's coming up is due to our rework of the movement code, which is what's causing the next update to have been so long. Is we've done a complete overhaul of the movement code in order to make it a lot more efficient. So it's very specific to our game now, rather than the generic Unreal Engine movement code, and it uses a lot of like it uses tiles to path rather than just um, path locations and that sort of thing. Um, so it's a lot more efficient, and in the end, it's going to allow us to get a lot more creatures in one go. However, it's buggy at the minute, and that's one of the really obvious bugs. Is that if there's an extreme corner that they need to navigate around, they seem to get confused. Should be good though when it releases. It'll hopefully allow, for example, free play games to go a bit crazier before frame rates drop. Should also allow us to be more open with our level design, so we can design levels with more creatures, all that sort of stuff. The next update that's actually coming is the free play update. So there's an overhaul of the free play systems, along with which includes having leaf cutters in free play, a new free play map, free play victory conditions, free play game setup sharing, so you can set up a free play game in a specific way and share it with other people so they can take on challenges. And you do that via a string, so string sharing. So it should be quite cool. You should be able to, on the forums, you should be able to share your free play setups that include like victory conditions, and then challenge other people to do them and that sort of thing. Should work quite well. Along with that is the monthly levels. So this is one of the I shouldn't call them monthly levels, just in case we fail. Just in case we miss a month. The extra levels, which we're aiming to roll out slowly, and they're designed to at roughly a pace of once a month. But we're not going to commit to it, because when we're releasing like a major update, we don't want to be trying to build these small levels as well. But they're smaller levels with just objectives, no specific audio for them, like this one.
Must defend themselves.
I need to upgrade my black ants. I also need to think about wood ants now. So the sooner you get wood ants, the better. Once you've got a few black ants to hold off the attacks, the wood ants really allow for the damage to come through. One thing I haven't done in this level yet, and I might do it later today, is the randomized waves. So basically, there's 30 setup waves that completely set up, and then I think I think if you continue play after you've won, essentially, it will set up randomized waves with increasing point values, so they'll get harder and harder.
This
uh, infinitely, really. So the other people in Slug Disco are there's a range of things going on at the minute. Well, each person kind of has a focus at the minute. I'm doing these monthly levels, and I've got 3 set up ready to go. So once we do get the update out, these will be ready to roll, and over the course of 3 months they'll be released. Um, Liam is heading up the movement code, and Matt's also helping him with that. But on top of that, Matt's preparing for the Fire Ant update by he's working on the Titan system, which is a method of creatures climbing on top of other creatures. So the idea is that if you attack a large creature like the whip spider, for example, with your creatures, quite a lot of them will climb onto its back and attack its eyes and its like leg joints and that sort of thing. It's actually quite a complicated thing to do because you kind of have to have the skeletal meshes interacting with each other. We've also got to think about the gameplay implications of that. So you can't just walk one creature onto the back of it and kill it slowly. I think what the gameplay wise, what we're going to do is if there's no targets within melee range, within its attack range, the Titan creatures will have like a flinch, which will throw creatures off its back. So basically, you can have creatures attacking it as long as you've got other creatures on the ground attacking it as well. So it's an interesting one. It's certainly been a challenge. It's like the next step up from what we did with leaf cutters. Yeah, I think we're going to allow lots of types of ants to do it. It depends. The ins and outs of it haven't been fully. I think the way it's going to be fully realized is during testing, really. So we've got an idea of how we want it to operate, but how it's going to change the game is another question. I mean, it's being brought in for the Fire Ant update, so and Fire Ants only have one type of soldier in the game. So the Fire Ants are really going to be a numbers. It's going to very much be a numbers thing. He's playing with Fire Ants. But we'll see. We'll obviously have to balance it. Maybe mages can't do it in the leafcutter colony. Like I say, it's only going to count for really big creatures. Although we might think about doing it for big creatures as well, rather than really big ones. So at the minute, the whip spider is probably the only one that qualifies. However, with the Fire Ant update, we're planning on bringing out a few meaty creatures, like big creatures, to because it kind of it goes in line with the Fire Ant fantasy that you're a massive swarm taking on much larger creatures. And that's where all these little updates, like Matt's been optimizing the code so we can get more ants in as well. Like the movement code has only just been one point of the optimization. We've actually gone through the code and optimized loads of different points of it. So we should be able to get a significantly greater number of going to build some more workers. Number of creatures in. Okay, so beyond wave 10, I think is where things are going to start to get a bit hairy. I'm not going to wait out there yet. Big ones are on the way. Yeah, here's some more movement code bugs. Where are you going, you idiots? Just small casts, okay, not mages. Yeah, I think mages will probably look a bit daft as well, trying to climb up the legs of the whip spider. Workers would be best, so they are only support for the army. Have a think about it when it gets to testing. But yeah, certainly not big ones. But in fire ants, yeah, all the whole lot can do it.
The ants must protect the queen.
Might be a good shout anyway, because that way you can control when there's enemies that aren't climbing on the back of it. Pathing issues coming up. Yeah, again, it's them getting stuck in weird areas. Okay, they're done with. I think we can tunnel to some more resources now. What have we got? I'm starting to fall behind now. That said, I probably just need more wood ants. It's gonna become time to get mages as well. I think in this you have to have mages by the time, like you have to have level 3 mages by the time the medium whip spiders appear. So they are so dangerous to black ants because the clap just obliterates them. It does the same to wood ants as well.
The ants will fight to the death.
10 level 3 mortars. I think whip spiderlings are good against. Oh god, I let them get too close to the queen, and these have got an AOE. The whip spiderlings. Oh God, am I going to lose? Because of their range, they can actually hit the wood ants behind things. So I'm not sure the mortars are enough to deal with them. Okay, well we dealt with that. Uh, I'm gonna run out of food if I'm not careful. Right, jumping spiders is the warning wave, because jumping spiders comes just before the beech wolf spiders, and if you're not in place for the beech wolf spiders, they can nuke you. Oh dear, I think I might have messed up here. Yeah, I've messed up. Ah, rip me. That's my fault. Right. I'm going to continue testing, but that's the that's the stream for today. I need to get myself to the later waves to make sure that it's all at least slightly balanced. I think I might have overcompensated the other way. Either way, that'll do for now. Thanks very much for joining me. Yeah, I hope you all have a good weekend, and I will see you next week. Ta-ra.